I'm going to do this from over here because maybe not. Okay. Hey, I'm Josh. This is Jamie. We're two members of Boston Info Voice App. It's an Alexa skill for city services. So this project started as a hackathon about 2 years ago, proposed by Harlan. He wanted a way to use and leverage city information through an Alexa skill, and it was an interesting idea for the people that were there, myself included. And so 2 years later, we're finally have something for consumption. It'll actually be being released through the city of Boston really soon. And so I just want to tell you a little bit about it. And so maybe you have a question, why are we doing Alexa rather than Google Home or Apple? I don't know if Apple has anything like that, but main reason being Alexa has a large portion of the user base. It's the majority of people have Alexa apps or Alexas rather than Google Homes. It was also Harlan requested it, and so pretty much that's what we ran with. And so the main purpose behind this site is trying to the main purpose behind this app is to present information that is not easily digestible by people who have visual impairments. Perhaps the interfaces are cumbersome for folks who aren't internet savvy. And so for me, it was personally how to build a website how to build a voice skill that my grandmother could use and how she could get relevant information. And so we started with trying to get recycling and trash information. And from there, we built it out to various skills. And so, the first one we started with was trash and recycling. We realized, oh, that's okay information for new residents, but it's pretty useless if you've lived anywhere for more than a month. And from there, we worked on crime incidents, get alerts, which are Boston's website alerts, and food trucks, and snow emergency parking, and farmers markets, and we're working on a few others that haven't been released yet, but these are all functional inside the app. And so what we're hoping to do at some point soon really is we have a bunch of functionality and all of it's usable, and for us, we think it's worth utilizing, but we need it in the hands of real users. And so we partnered with the city of Boston, and they should be releasing it within a month or two. We've been just working through some of the bugs. And in fact, Jamie over here is going to demo some of the functionality that we have. Jamie, do you want this microphone?
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, Josh. So against my better judgment, we are going to try to demo this live. So let's hope the demo gods are smiling down today. So if you don't know, Alexa devices are pretty prevalent, but you can also just get Alexa on your phone. So we're going to see how this works. Ask Boston Info, are there any city alerts?
Daytime and overnight street cleaning are canceled.
Hey, we don't have to worry about street cleaning today. That's great. So what's really important with kind of these voice apps are really bite-sized pieces of information like that people are going to want to access really quickly. So that's why stuff like the city alerts are really important. There's also ways to access some of the larger amounts of data that are out there. So the city of Boston has really good data sets out there. If you go to data.boston.gov, we're really lucky to live in a city where you can access a lot of information, and it's updated kind of in real time and live. So let's try another one here. Ask Boston Info, what are the latest 311 reports?
Here are the 3 latest 311 reports. There was a request at intersection Corey St. and Lagrange Street for the transportation.
So I won't make them go through all of that one. But it's really great that we have all this information, and we're just trying to make this more accessible to more people. I think that's what a lot of technology company departments within cities are trying to do is there's a lot of great information. How do we get that into the hands of our residents as easily as possible and where they are? So that's it for the demo.
All right. Minute left? All right, great. So, lessons we learned. The first one, if you've done any sort of projects, is pretty relevant. Every time we thought we had finished and we'd fixed all the bugs that Amazon had pointed out to us, we resubmitted it, and then we'd get feedback again to, we didn't like the way you requested a specific address, we didn't like the way you formatted some text. It was very nitpicky, but it made us better for it. Debugging in voice applications is an atrocious process. I just learned tonight that they're actually, Alexa is finally updating that process. So the way you debug in these applications is through their interface and essentially sift through logs. You pretty much have to request, and if an error happens, you have to look through a series of gibberish and hope that you find the relevant information. That's how it's been for Alexa skills I don't know how it is for Google Home, but for Alexa skills, it's pretty bad. And having patience is absolutely key. We've been working on this, like I said, for 2 years. A lot of the functionality was finished about 6 months ago, and then for the last 6 months, it's just been a lot of back and forth between Amazon complaining about certain things and us fixing it. And user experience, we've learned, though, is very important to Amazon. That essentially the core reason why they're so nitpicky is that they want to provide the best user experience for their voice apps, and in turn, it makes the project much better. So from there, the things we've noticed, and so we've worked on a couple of voice applications. We're currently working on one for Brookline, and we will be working on one for Cambridge soon. We've noticed that a lot of the functionality is really modular. It's reusable. It's a lot of just swapping out APIs and endpoints for the specific same type of logic. And so what we're hoping to do, and it's a big goal of ours and an ambition, is to make this entire process as painless as possible by removing the need for us to ever edit any of the code. And so what we're trying to build out next is a self-deployed application. Essentially, we will be building a web application on top of the back-end functionality. You'll be able to put in a couple of key APIs and endpoints, fill out a few text forms, and it'll generate an Alexa and Google Home application for you. We're exploring some of the frameworks currently, and they all seem pretty promising, and so within the next 5 months, we should have something functional going. And